Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. MashaAllah. I'm very happy to see you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. Yeah, I'm waiting for you to read.
I forgot where I last left off.
Now, page 12. Yeah. A true human being understands.
So yes, we're reading from the Seatbed of the Light, page number 58 on the book, 12 for us, and the third paragraph on that page. A true human being understands that this world was not created for its own sake and is not an end in itself, but rather a realm filled through birth and emptied through death. The
Munificent.
I was just contemplating. The beneficent Lord invites its inhabitants to the realm of happiness. Its decorations provide only temporary pleasure and are replaced by pain upon their disappearance, who sharpens one's appetite for the originals. They cannot satisfy this appetite because both they and those enjoying them exist only for a short time. They are offered so that the travelers will reflect, give thanks, and yearn for the eternal originals.
Tell us your impressions.
So the first takeaway that I get is the author makes an attempt to redefine what the world is, or understanding what the world is, and he does that by saying that it's basically an environment which is filled with birth and empty through death. So it's basically created and then finished, or that creation comes to an end. And then
no, creation comes to an end, or watch out for your language. Creation comes to an end, or this kind of creation comes to an end.
Okay.
Now, there are many kinds of creation, countless. Okay. This word shows that the first line says,
it's not created for its own sake.
Yeah, for its own sake.
Right.
But how do you understand that? The text says a true human being. What does it mean, true human being? So, what does it mean, true human being?
It's someone who's true to their humanity. So someone who is not neglecting what their humanity is telling them.
No, I mean, preserving their reality, who they are. Not distorting, or practically speaking, not conditioning themselves condition before everything. Because if one says, no one says that I'm really destroying or distorting my humanity. Have you ever seen that I am a bad man? People, when they say I am a bad man, they feel guilty about doing something that they shouldn't do, but they are conscious of it. For example, smoking or consuming alcohol. They don't really mean that true humanity means not action-wise things. Action-wise, human weakness is quite normal. Whether we use our human qualities without conditioning them, or freely, really utilizing our human qualities, but becoming aware, for example, aware of our own reality. We shouldn't be misled. I'm going to make a joke, don't misunderstand. For example, sitting here doesn't show that you are a modest man. Maybe you are a hypocrite. I'm not referring to you, just to show that I am a modest man. Actions never reflect human reality. We shouldn't be misled with it. Actions never show one's reality. For example, I may be praying 5 times a day, fasting every day. Don't think that I'm not distorting my humanity. I may be doing it for hypocrisy or just to get the religious satisfaction, to make sure that, no, I'm a good man, I am a good man. I understand, I try to understand, of course, and my conclusion is, am I conditioning myself with any type of conditioning? For example, if someone conditions himself or herself, then he's a religious guy. He believes in God. He follows a certain type of religion. And whatever he is encountering in order to interpret and understand, no, according to our religion, it must be so. Not according to my understanding. According to our religion, look at the word. Not my religion. It is difficult to say my religion. Our religion is very easy because it disperses in the air. You know, the Muslims' religion, you don't know what you really mean. So, and also according to our belief. Again, the word is very tricky. Our belief means the belief of the community, of the religion that you assign yourself to as a member. So is it your belief? Not now.
Relinquishes your responsibility.
Yeah. Personal responsibility. Yeah. So according to our belief, we believe that there is a resurrection. We will be resurrected. Is it a belief? If I say this word, this sentence, I am a Muslim, according to our belief, we will be resurrected after we die. Is it a belief?
Statement.
It is just a statement which has no base. According to our belief. I am a Muslim according to Islamic belief, not according to my own conclusion. These are tricky words that cheat us. When I prefer, why do I prefer the word without conditioning yourself? This conditioning mostly takes place among the people who claim to believe or who claim to follow a certain religion. Maybe Christian, maybe Jews, maybe Buddhist. You know, I belong to a Buddhist community and I'm satisfied with it. I believe in Buddhism, Buddhism, okay, and according to Buddhist tradition or belief system, when we die, we will be converted into another creature. Are you satisfied about this conclusion? Do you have your evidence? No. It may be the same for Islam, it may be the same for Christianity. It must be our own conclusion. Belief means personal conclusion. Do you see the importance of it? It's very important. So conditioning, first and foremost, comes from those people who see themselves as a member of a certain religious community. Majority of the event, among the majority of the case among the human race is this. But in their case, I always really overlook at the problems of the young people, the high school, college students. They follow the fashion without realizing what they are doing. They say, no, the fashion is what, for example, nowadays is science will explain everything. We are the results of the evolution, biological evolutions, and that's the fashion. Now, today it is the fashion. Tomorrow the fashion may change. No. But those people who are determined about a conclusion concerning their existence, we have to watch out for them. Whether they claim this conclusion as a result of their own conditioning themselves by saying that, look, I am not going to identify myself with a religion because religion is horrible and corrupt. Apparently, religion in its institutionalized form, any religion, is really corrupt to me. For me, it's really corrupt. Any kind of religion, in its institutionalized form, maybe Christianity, Judaism, Islam, but it's institutionalized, really corrupt. And some people think about it and see the corruption and disassociate themselves from the institutionalized religions in general, religions. Now, as a result of this rejection, we have to follow the how the human beings work, human beings' nature work. As a result of this conclusion, because religion claims that the belief in God is the pivot of their religion, or believe in something, yeah, it may be not God, but something else, for example. Let's say pantheism is that God is the word, for example. What they say, mostly especially those religions are described as heavenly religions, it means based on belief in God. Because they reject religion, they reject belief in God. Now, they block the way now. Possibility, the possibility that there may be a creator, I don't know, let me investigate. They block the way. And say, since there is no God, let me explain the universe. Of course, they are bound to try to find a way of explaining the existence of the universe. How? By referring to, anybody come on? Come on. You had the breakfast and the nice one, so come on, you have to say. Sorry?
The universe itself.
The universe itself. And then any kind of claim that they explain the universe is a No, in a scientific way. It works. Why? Science studies the universe for itself, within itself. But we have to be careful. Science studies the universe within the universe for the universe itself. So they block the possibility that the things may have an origin of existence. Look at, because origin of existence of the universe, which takes you out of the context of the universe. How they condition themselves, there is nothing but the universe. So this way takes me into theology. And theology accepts God according to them, their understanding, for granted. That uses this very horrible language. God created the universe. I'm saying horrible language. Never use this language. But while we are praying, yes, but apart from while we are reasoning, never use this language. It is very dangerous and harmful. If you notice that, God created the universe. It's very dangerous. It blocks the mind to think. Of course, those people said, I'm not going to go into theology because theology claims that God created the universe. Where is God? Where did they get this notion of God? It's made up story. Of course, the sentence infers this idea. While you are reasoning, you have to say, I'm looking at the universe and its existence is impossible to explain other than referring it to another source than itself. Right? That is a completely different approach. This approach is missing, and when the religion is not belief, is not presented to these people, saying that look, let's explain the existence of the universe. What is the cause of the existence of the universe? Is there any need for a cause? Let's question it without conditioning ourselves. That's why I understand from the phrase, the true human being means a human being who has not conditioned himself in any ways, either believing in God or not believing in God, freely thinking, freely using one's human qualities. A true human being. If you notice, for example, as in this sentence, as opposed to the general rhetoric or general language that we hear, a true believer. You keep hearing this, huh? A true believer. How can I be a true believer? Show me. No, you have to be a true believer. How? Don't you believe in God? You have to be a true believer. Really, this phrase has no meaning. Do you notice that? Carefully, think about it carefully. A true believer submits himself to God. For example, these are baseless claims. Hey, do you agree with me? No. Believer, hello. No. Sit there. I know it. Can't you? He knows what to do. Yeah. Look. No.
From here first?
Yeah, first. According to I will go.
Someone else.
Someone else. Yeah, that's what I. Okay, you continue now. Yeah, that's why. Okay, you continue discussing this matter. It's very, very related to our reality.
Sorry. One statement that I picked up was to understand the existence of something, it must be studied outside of the existence of the thing itself. So, if we're trying to understand the world, it must not be studied within itself, right? But doesn't that applying that, or I guess using that as an analogy and applying that to my existence, doesn't that mean that I should not study the world from within itself, but must understand the existence of the world outside of the existence of the world itself?
Well, can you go back to the first sentence you said? Yeah, one sentence.
So to understand the existence of something, it must be studied outside of the existence of the thing itself. That just like that was my conclusion off of what Dr. Lee was saying when he said that the world was not created for its own sake and is not an end in itself. And he said that science, because the science just blocks out the possibility of something beyond the universe, so it just tries to understand the universe within itself. And then I came to that conclusion to say, well, to understand the existence of something, to the universe, it must be studied outside of the existence of the universe itself. But then that seems to be
It's not physical.
Yeah.
Like it's not a physical thing. It's just like in your brain or like in your head. Take a step outside, like how you define things, how you explain things, or like how you condition things from the beginning. And once you're like outside of your mind, outside of those predefined like, ideas or like just things that you come with. Once you step out of that, and you're like looking outside the box, then you can understand how the box comes to exist.
so it's basically considering the possibility of something outside the box.
Yeah, like, it's like you getting out of the picture. Like,
Yeah.
how
Like,
you
I
from the
think-
universe, trying to be like outside the universe, how could this universe be on its own? But you're still confined within the universe. It's pretty hard to say that there must be some other source for the existence of the universe, because you're still within the boundaries of the universe itself.
It's like probably back to the core of what we talk about a lot in classes. It's like this idea that there must be, like, there's no way for us to get outside the universe. So, like, at the end of the day, we can talk about if it's possible or how you do that in your mind. But at the end of the day, we're here, and the reality is that we see certain things day to day. And I think looking at the things around us necessitate that there must be. It's pointing towards something outside of the universe or some sort of source of existence. Like whether it's outside or inside, I don't know if it matters as much as there's purpose, or there must be purpose, and there must be something to it, or the meaningfulness of things. So I'm not sure about the initial sentence or your conclusion.
I realized where I messed up.
Okay.
So I updated it. To understand the source of existence of something, it must be studied keeping the source of existence outside of the existence of the thing itself. So I think when it comes to understanding something, sure you can begin internally, but once you're trying to understand the source, you must also be open to the possibility that the source can be outside of the existence of the thing itself. Yeah. It's not.
Yeah, I think like Eric was saying, all boils down to there must be an absolute source. So when you look into the universe, you cannot find an explanation of something. So then, like it's impossible to find something within the existing, things that something is causing something to be created.
So while Dr. Norman isn't here, I have to bring this up because I read a really interesting article, which I don't think you find it relevant, but you guys may.
Let me tell you, this is recorded.
That's okay. He can hear later and shame me later. I don't mind. But it was in the New York Times. It was like an opinion piece, and the guy was saying, not like don't believe in God, like perhaps aliens will work. And like an interesting tagline for a title, but it just was like they were doing studies on folks who are atheists or what we call agnostic, but really have blocked and are biased against the idea of some sort of creator. They're more likely to believe in extraterrestrial activity, the idea of aliens or something else looking in, kind of controlling, pulling the strings.
Yeah.
So there's this innate need, like whether it's in this case, it's probably institutionalized religion, like I'm saying, which ruins it for a lot of folks, because anything that has the word God in it, you just completely dismiss because of the way you were raised, or because of people being very structured, or telling you you're going to hell, whatever it is, regardless of religion. But you're going to find some source outside of your immediate surroundings to like explain things, or try to find meaning. It's an interesting idea, but I think it's definitely.
What is the source of existence of these so-called aliens?
Yeah. So then with the condition that you're talking about, where in my discussion with atheists, they'll first start with there's no way to ever understand anything beyond the confines of the universe, because it's such a different order, and therefore it's like completely you have to neglect that function. So you're stuck with being on this function. Is that exactly right?
Say that again.
So would this conditioning, where a true being would not condition, but would a condition do that, well, because we cannot reach outside the universe, we can never really understand it, where we can this universe, we just box it off and you say, well, now all I'm left is with this universe, whatever, so we can't look outside.
That's not condition, that's reality. Like, we can get out of the universe.
But they're saying you can't even. So I think our assumption is that, okay, so yeah, we can't think about, okay, so I'm outside of the universe and I'm trying to understand from, in this case, the creator's perspective, it could be kind of backwards, right? Whereas we're saying in this topic, you start with the universe and then you make a conclusion that's outside of the universe. So atheists are saying you can't, or in this case, like you can't come to a conclusion that's outside of what you see day to day. So I don't know what.
You mean. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't like know what the. But it sounds like a biased starting point.
Yes, our bias starting point.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm asking.
But what's our bias starting point? Most Muslims, or anybody who's religious, assumes, right, that they start from the creator's perspective and then start to from God created. Yeah.
What we believe. I have a question actually. I always get confused with this type of language, which is not an end in itself. I can never understand it for a long time. And I get very confused. What does that actually mean? So where the sentence, the first sentence, but ending with was not created for its own sake and is not an end in itself. Like I'm never really sure what not an end in itself actually means.
So like a means to an end versus an.
If you say that, I'm confused automatically.
So like I think, and people were. I'll let someone else take a stab at it. I have an idea because that expression confused me for a long time too. Yeah. But I'll let someone else take a stab. I think it's just a mean, like the existence would be a means in this case, and then to an end.
Okay.
So a way that you get to a conclusion.
Right.
A means to an end.
Yeah.
The universe is the end is a bit in this case, but it's not that the universe is the universe. And it's the conclusion.
This would be like the universe doesn't exist for its own purpose.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, we're not just here for this.
yes.
That's at least my understanding.
Yeah.
I don't know if that. Created for its own sake, though, is a little bit like weird. I don't know, like that language. But it's, I guess, that ties into the not just here for this.
Like, is it? I took that to mean that its existence is like is not meant for itself. It's not supposed to. Like its existence, the purpose of its existence is not to sustain itself. I don't know.
I think it's for us, for because like the whole transience of the universe reminds you that you're a guest here, like you're not here permanently. So that's how I understood it. But
Yeah, I think that's why it sets up that contrast by following the phrase, but rather realm. So there's two scenarios, right? One where its existence is the objective of its existence, compared to, I guess, the second phrase part of it, where it exists to not just exist in that mode of existence, but to kind of transform into something else as well.
I understand.
Because I think the next two lines for me are slightly a bit contradictory.
Getting more.
The beneficent Lord invites its inhabitants to the realm of happiness. Right? Unless I'm understanding this statement wrong, but I think it's when it says to the realm of happiness, I'm referring that to this, like my current reality. Do you understand it as purpose?
I understood that. Let me say what I was talking about. The realm of happiness and is an explanation that reflects with our feelings for eternal happiness, and that this invitation is sort of these little, I think we talked about before, and I wasn't here, but these samplers that are provided in this creation.
So the invitation is a sample in that case, and the realm of happiness is essentially showcasing the end product, or the eternal product.
I missed something in that sentence.
So I'm saying the invitation is basically the sample itself, but you're saying the realm of happiness is showcasing the end product.
I kind of understood, like, so the samples are like, the invitation is here presented here in this situation, as a way to, as or in the previous language, purpose to introduce you to what is the realm. I mean, I don't know if that's just reiterating what you just said.
An example that comes to my mind is like sometimes with the songs which I have like samples outside and I try to give to you. And if you eat that sample, you're like, oh, this is good. And then you want to go get more and find the source of where the sample came from. The sample in itself, it gives you pleasure in the moment, but then after you eat it, it's gone, and it leaves you wanting for more. And that's, I guess, in a way, we talked about its decorations provide only temporary pleasure and are replaced by pain upon their disappearance to sharpen one's appetite, in my example, literally, for the original source of pleasure.
So would we say that the hunger that comes after the disappearance of that food is the realm of happiness?
I feel like the realm of happiness is being reached there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you also do the transformation to them as well.
to the original source,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I guess it's like the moment you become aware that it's not
Okay.
just gone, like there's somewhere that the sample that connects. So it's referring to two different realms. So one realm flows through birth without another one that's happiness. Because it almost sounds like it's referring to the same realm since it's the sentence that goes with it.
Yeah, reading the two sentences together, I would read it as two different ones.
I think the last sentence on the same paragraph is kind of like the conclusion. So like their offer so that the travelers will reflect the thanks and then the yearning for the eternal original. So it's essentially the yearning for eternal original is acknowledging the eternal source. That is around the happiness.
I think for me, the part of the sentence with you just explained that the decorations, that it's only a temporary pleasure and that it's replaced by pain upon your disappearance. Like I experienced this so many times. From like trying to find my favorite product at the grocery store and it's not there. In that moment, it's like, oh, no, I wanted it, but so it's very accurate.
To sharpen one's appetite, like, that's a very interesting way of. That's like the first thing that really like caught my attention because sharpen is such a almost like harsh. Like if you think about the way you sharpen something, it's a very like rough process. It's a very like there's like things that have to kind of have friction or this like very constant to sharpen something requires like this constant process. So this emptying and filling, this coming and going, this pain and pleasure, it's like that really spoke to just the feeling of the constant change and yearning. So to sharpen, for the purpose to be to sharpen one's appetite with the original.
So you want so much you can't do it.
Not to mention the appetite is already there, right? So it's like you're already hungry, but like, if you're hungry and then you smell something, you feel like you're hungrier.
And last week we talked about like the appetite is like an infinite like hunger, like an yearning for infinity. To create like, for a world that we're living in to sharpen that appetite when that appetite is already yearning for infinity. It sets us up. It seems like the perfect setup to really bring our attention to something constantly. And then perhaps like our attention is not always brought to the original. So we don't really get that sampling. If you're in a place and you're getting samples, and I just got this image of like when we were young, we used to go to like BJ's or whatever, and they used to always have samples every like couple of blocks, like in the grocery store, like every 2 aisles, there's like a sample. By the time you leave the store, like you went there hungry, but then you really, like you get this sense of like satisfaction. It's not that the samples actually fill you, but because you're tasting them so frequently, it actually, there's like a comforting in that. And then to bring our attention to this world created as samples, it's like if we're actually tasting the samples, I wouldn't be as discomforted by the process of this pain, happiness. Because if you're really tasting the samples frequently, I don't know if that makes sense. If you're really tasting the samples frequently, I think we're so not tasting the samples as truly for what they are, like samples of the original. That's my experience.
Was I talking to you about how we try to mimic the eternal experience by tasting samples constantly.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's one or two. Then you, yeah. But no, that just reminded me of the fact that at the end of the day, because our desire is to have that satisfaction internally, and that satisfaction is not offered within this universe because of its transient nature, what we often end up doing is we try to mimic that eternal satisfaction by repeating the transient experiences. And that constant experience of those, transient experiences mimic kind of like this sense of eternal satisfaction.
Like you're saying, like keep on trying the samples just to get.
Just to feel that you're eternally happy.
Maybe an attempt.
Yeah, I think, like an attempt to recreate. I'm not saying that we are successful in doing it because of everything being transient, it ends, and that's why there is no limit to the amount of transient experiences that we can try to go for it.
There's no limit to like your desire to like continue to experience these
Right. So I was trying to understand, like why the world's a rat race in that sense, and why people tend to just go for it without second guessing or second questioning themselves. But I think that the need is there. It's just acknowledging the true source, which can kind of point a person in a different direction. It can either point you in a direction to acknowledge the eternal source, or point you in a direction to mimic that eternal source.
It's going to reiterate on something, but you say about the realm of happiness, it's here, and then how you conclude about yours.
If I can rephrase how I understood that, I think it's the realm of happiness is in acknowledging the eternal source and the eternal desire that you have. I think it's in knowing that I'm forever going to be hungry. I will always want more food, but at the same time, there's a cook that's constantly cooking there for me. And acknowledging or being conscious of that gives me that happiness.
So yours is not literally a realm, but rather like a space that exists.
Yeah, and like realm in that sense. But that's how I'm just defining it. It's a state.
I like that state of being, because if you think about it, I can mention that this realm is like a place where things are filled to birth and empty to death, right? So that's like the realm you're experiencing. And if your state of being, you're experiencing all this, you're able to connect to the source, then you're able to recognize the realm of happiness while in this realm.
I feel like it was Dr. Lee once said that the concepts of paradise can be almost manifested in our existence here through our states of mind. We can either create that sense of hell by constantly experiencing the passing and the destruction of transient experiences, or create that state of paradise by recognizing the source and knowing that it belongs to you in time. So I think state of mind would be
Not that we create that sense of like paradise, but that's yeah.
So it's actually something that exists, but it's provided to you already, but based on your perception and your conclusions.
acknowledge the existence of place, and therefore you basically tether to it. And so the beginning part, its inhabitants, it's the part that it's referring to just this the state of this creation of that things are going through birth and it's transient. So the inhabitants of the transient world, and it invites those inhabitants to this state of being.
Yeah, we can do the samples cannot satisfy us. So yeah, so everything is given to us in the form of samples with what and work on your conclusions and establish a state of mind. Feeling the real one, the original.
What was your conclusion? I'm sorry.
Many.
Many? MashaAllah. Who is going to summarize it for me?
So we talked about the realm of happiness.
Oh, yeah.
And we said that it's actually a state of mind while we are experiencing the current realm where, like the author says here, we see that things are filled through birth and empty through death. Everything is in the form of sample. So when we are able to recognize the source of existence of these samples, then we are able to conclude or to yearn for these samples in its original form, as in connecting ourselves to the other.
Did it make sense to you?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of did because, yeah.
Did you discuss? I'm sorry, I had to. It happens only once. So replaced by pain upon their disappearance. Are you with me in the middle of the paragraph? To sharpen one's appetite. So, by the way, Surya, are you in the list? How did you know that? Are you in
Yeah, I got the email.
You got the email. General, you are in the list. I guessed that, but I was doubtful to make sure. Did my telephone ring when I was there? Oh, yeah. You forget. You ignored that.
Yes, we.
Very good. Excellent. So, to sharpen one's appetite for the originals, I think you discussed that. Sharpen one's appetite for the originals. Yeah. Do you feel that? We are here, having all sorts of connections with the rest of the world. These are just to prepare us to sharpen our appetite for the originals. Do you feel that?
I have a slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
In this world, even if the samples are essentially a means of means for me to experience happiness or satisfaction or fulfillment temporarily. And then because that sample is transient in its nature, and hence the satisfaction or the fulfillment caused by that sample ends for me as well. So once we say
Does it cause pain?
yes,
Do you experience pain at all in your existence in this type of creation?
All the time.
Sorry?
All the time.
All the time. Do you really feel it? This type of creation is pleasurous? Yeah. Or you see that you are being entertained, and also accompanied with that is the reason why I say be careful with the contradiction in the type of existence in this world. From one aspect, it looks very entertaining. Yeah. From another aspect, as far as the human capacity is concerned, human expectations are concerned, it's horrible. You get it?
Yeah.
It's horrible. It's especially if someone pays attention to its existence, his or her existence. But if someone lives like an animal, it means daily, I eat, I'm full, tomorrow in the kitchen, the refrigerator is full, I'm hungry. When I am hungry, I will eat again, don't worry. And these people don't feel pain. When do they feel pain? Because these people always watch news. In the news, always terrible, horrible things are narrated. That's a beautiful thing. Horrible things are narrated. So people become disappointed. When they are eating, they are happy. When the TV on, people are going on war, killing each other, stealing, and revolutions, storms, tsunami somewhere, earthquake another, hungry people, needy people, homeless, all the bad news come. For me, it's beautiful. Allah, God employed them. Although we shouldn't narrate,
doesn't look like a familiar face.
okay. Let's see if they are going to bring it up. Sometimes they deliver this unsolicited things. No, I don't care. Why is it good? We should never mention the messenger of God. Repeatedly reminds us that there is no need to mention the bad side of this world, bad events, right? But at the same time, we know that bad things happen, unwanted things happen. And the Quran is full of what? News about the calamities afflicted the past generations, right? Why? Tells us that this place, this existence is not the permanent existence. So watch out. So after the Quran, God employed this media people to bring the bad news on. So that as we are experiencing the pleasure of our life, they bring the bad news to us. Of course, we shouldn't. But God employed them to do this mission, this duty. So they remind us that this is not the place that human beings are created to live or to exist permanently. To remind us what's going on. From one aspect, we are entertained. From another aspect, horrible things are happening in this world. And of course, the most, I forget your name. What is your name? Adam. Yeah, Adam. The most important reminder is for everyone equally, whether you watch TV or not, that this place is not a permanent place, Adam. How do we know? It is not a permanent place. How do we know? Sorry, Henry, yeah. No? Think about it, Adam. You are old enough to... Do you feel that this world is a permanent place for you for eternity? How do you know? Say it very clear. It's not a mysterious question. Yeah? How do you know? So you just feel it? You don't know? How do you know? Yeah, what makes you say that I am sure 100% I'm not going to live in this world for eternity, endlessly? Sorry? Oh, yeah, we are going to die. It's very simple. Even if there was no news at all, everything is perfectly working smoothly and pleasantly, we know that the end will definitely come. Right? That is enough. That is enough. But young people, not me, impossible for me to forget about death. But I'm getting close, very close. I'm on the age of. So I'm there. But young people, when I was there, it never occurred to me that I would die one day. But information-wise, I knew it. The people died. But I didn't live in this world as a person, as a being who is going to die one day, leave everything behind. I wasn't feeling it. This is interesting. From one aspect, it is a blessing so that you continue your life with no hopelessness, no continue with attachment from one aspect. So, for example, I want this table firmer, as if I'm going to live here forever. There was a, who remembers? Do you remember there was a chair? No, not a chair, sofa. You remember that? Eh? Two people tried to break it into pieces because we couldn't get it out. It was too big, bigger than the door. So for how many hours? They made the old stuff. It was really strong. Not like this one. It's very easy. If you keep this one, it breaks. But the old stuff, as if they are going to live forever in this world. Okay, but we know that the people moved out of this house, that the strong sofa remained behind. They didn't want to take it. They are, what are they? Heavy. Do you understand? Human beings know that this world is a good world, interesting word. There are a lot of signs which teach us, but at the same time, it doesn't really satisfy my human needs. It is mixed with pain. What are we going to do then? How are we going to get out of this contradiction? Do you remember? I repeat this sentence. This existence of this world, this type of existence, is full of contradiction. Everything as it is, how do you say, matter, antimatter. Do they say antimatter? Everything has its own opposites. Such a strange creation. But it is good to remind us. But so, have you noticed that, Eric? It is so perfectly adjusted, the creation of this world. No one can say that one thing can exist by itself and can sustain its life by itself, with no exception. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. We have to take notice of it. Everything has its counterpart. You cannot say that I have taken notice of this side, but immediately it has its counterpart and comes to the mind. That is perfect creation. Why? To prepare us, as the text says here, everything is pleasurable, but replaced by pain upon their disappearance. Even they disappear now, but is there anything that they don't disappear every moment? Is there anything? They don't disappear every moment? Show me one. Any? Can you show? Can you or not? Yeah?
My consciousness.
Yeah. Your consciousness reminds you that you need eternity. But as far as your connection of your consciousness with this world is concerned, your consciousness tells you what? This world disappears momentarily.
No, I'm saying, what about my consciousness not disappearing?
Yeah, that's a good point. Our spirit, it is represented by consciousness, because consciousness of the consciousness side of the spirit reminds you that you have another type of existence within you, and this another type of existence makes you remember that you need an eternity. Your consciousness cannot sustain its existence by itself, but it tells you that you need eternity. It reminds you or warns you that you need eternity, you have to live for eternity, you have to look for eternity. Your consciousness, do you think your consciousness can exist by itself? No, it's a given. No. So if it is given, it reminds you eternity, but it cannot say that I am eternal. But you need to be eternal. Yes.
And doesn't the state of awareness of my consciousness, like the coming into moments of sobriety, of like witnessing, also disappears in and of itself? We're not always in a state of conscious awareness. or a state of observing through consciousness. So even that is an example of how everything, even our state, is subject to transience, because we're not always in a state of witnessing consciously. So when we say that everything is temporary, everything can't sustain itself, everything, literally, even our state of consciousness, even our state of awareness, shows us that this pain and pleasure is constant.
Constantly. So for example, you brought up that, and you also took up the point and continued. So I ask you, since it was a good point to raise, it is interesting. Can your consciousness tell you that it is eternal or it needs eternity? Which one is true?
The second one, it needs eternity.
Yeah, you get it? No. Because even your body, definitely, look at my body. Yeah? Going away. Saying bye-bye. Yeah? Right? That is obvious. But because human spirit yearns eternity, that quality may think that we are eternal, or may give a wrong impression that we are eternal. That's why some people mistook it and said human beings will be transformed into another type of creation where within this type of existence. They don't think that the creator of this type of existence, but this is a very major problem for certain religious traditions, or for a certain religious tradition, very major. Millions, hundreds of millions of people buy into this idea. It's not a simple matter. You know that what I'm talking about. Because they don't think of any kind of existence and a permanent, self-existent, existing being who gives existence to this world, they limit themselves with the conditions of this universe. But at the same time, they are aware that we don't want to die. And we want eternity. What did they find it? They find a solution by formulating an idea that since we want eternity, there must be something eternity. But because they cannot think of the origin of the existence of this universe, and the origin or originator of this universe must be self-existing and eternal, absolute one. They don't think about it. They block that way. And they wanted to explain the problem which they are encountering, every human being is encountering, if they think. If they think. If they don't think, you cannot help anybody who is not thinking. If anybody is not questioning, if a person is not questioning, forget about it, you cannot help it. Either by saying that I am a religious guy, I am done, or I don't believe in God and I am done. You see, you cannot help these two people. They don't question. So if they question, if they think, what they find out, we need, I don't want to die, I need eternity, and there must be a solution for it. Because they blocked their mind to the possibility that there may be a creator who is absolute, who gave existence to the whole universe. They say the existence consists of only this type of existence. And very simple-mindedness, in a very simple-mindedness, they look for a solution. We circulate our existence within the universe. Again and again and again, we experienced it temporarily. You know what I'm talking about, right? They say spirit jumps from one type of existence into another type of existence. This kind of meaningless solution within the existence of this universe. It's very simple.
It's a very fine point, though. You know, quite simple.
Yeah.
You know, my consciousness is aware of my need for eternity versus my consciousness is eternal because I have some feeling of it. It's like a very small language, but it's very small. And it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, people say, well, I mean, some people may mistakenly say, since I need eternity, the source of this idea, which is my consciousness, human side, must be eternal. That's the, as you said, very fine point. If you speak to them, and of course, not ordinary ones, but those people who really think about their own philosophy, they will say it makes sense. Look, I need eternity, and there must be eternity, and it is at the same time, the reality is out there, as Adam said, we all die. It means there must be eternity, but we all die. Isn't it logical, logically acceptable, reasonable to conclude that we will be transformed into another type of creation? Or they don't say creation, existence. Oh, it says, oh, it is very nice.
It might be very nice. I think you can conclude that, but it doesn't really satisfy.
It doesn't really satisfy because you keep changing it. But as a human being, what you want to do, as the text says now, come here, to sharpen one's appetite for the originals. Yeah? Eternal originals. And in the universe, there is no eternal origin. Yeah.
I have a statement which seems logical, but I want to run that by you. What classifies something as a sample is basically its transient nature. So what classifies something as an original is just for it to not be transient, it's eternally lasting. If I can, with my consciousness, acknowledge that the source of the sample must be the same source of the original, because what I'm experiencing is a sample, hence whatever the original must have the same source. If I can acknowledge that, then really what changes for me between now and, I don't have a better word for it hereafter, but between now and after I experience my transience then is simply just experiencing what I'm experiencing but for eternity. Because my acknowledgement of the source doesn't change. So is that a logical statement to make?
Before coming to this conclusion, it makes sense, but it needs a some foundations and prior thought, prior to this. It's the second stage, if you like. The first stage, I would say, we have to start from the cause of existence of the things. Now, what can be the cause of existence of anything? Now, anything that you are interested in or attracts your attention. Anything, take something, to cause of existence. Let's talk about the fruit. Because fruit is ready, cooked, and everything. So it is a good example. Let's say a strawberry. Take a strawberry. Study it first. What can be the cause of existence of this strawberry? We have to question that one first. And then human logic comes to the conclusion that in order to give existence to the strawberry, this cause must be able to give existence to the whole universe. We must have gone through this stage, and then come to the conclusion that there must be a source of existence which is not like this type of universe, but it is the source of existence of this universe. If it was not absolute, if it wasn't absolute, it wouldn't be able to give existence to this universe, which is continuously changing, but perfectly within order, consciously, deliberately arranged, everything. And if it wasn't absolute, not like the universe, it wouldn't be the source of the existence of this universe. Now, consciousness says, I need, that second stage you stated, I need eternity. Is it possible? Why not? If you establish the first stage firmly, and if you are convinced about it, then if you are personally convinced about it, and then you can comfortably say, this eternity can definitely be supplied, provided by the one who created my consciousness and who gave the ability to desire eternity to my human consciousness. And I turn to him. Nothing to do with this world now. You see the difference? Why? Because people, very simple, although we keep repeating, it may be boring, but it is always essential to start from the creation. Always. When you read anything or read the Quran or any prayer forms, whatever, always look at the universe. For example, I don't know, everybody must have something, some supplications. My main supplications consists of the Ayatul Kursi, Fatiha, and last two verses of Hashr. Wallahu alladhi la ilaha illa. When I say, for example, Huwa al-Hayyul Qayyum, how do I know that he is alive? How do I know that he keeps let the child be alone and entertain herself? Yeah, don't make her dependent on your attention. Got it? Because you are going to be a father and you will learn this. You need to learn this.
It's very hard, but it's
Sorry?
true. It's very hard, but it's true.
It is true, but it's very hard. You can accept that. I don't know about Rata. So, because the women are, no, I have to like this. And today, I'm listening to the class, but it's horrible. We have to learn this, inshallah. Give the tools. She will entertain herself, and she doesn't need it. Inshallah. She will learn it. Look, coming second time. That is your mistake, not her mistake.
She's not crying. Normally she would be screaming.
Yeah, but make it not dependent. Take pity on the children. Never make them dependent on yourself. Leave them free, alone. They will look at it. Wonderful. You see? That's it. Perfect. Leave her. Leave her. Okay. They will find. Don't worry. So let's come to our point. What was it?
Second stage that I need eternity and then start with creation.
Yeah,
How do
that's
I
how you
know?
started.
How do I know he is lit high?
Ah, it is high. How do you know it is high? Eh? I have no knowledge of high of the eternity. Absolute one. I know a person like me living, and when he dies, I know that no, doesn't move, doesn't react, anything. Ah, he's not high. That's my experience in this world. How can I say that the absolute one is high? How do you know? Start from the creation. Say, look, this world as it exists, very simple. Never think of God. Never think of the nature of God by itself. Never. Impossible. You cannot think of absolute. You conclude absolute. People think that when they claim that they believe in God, they can make statements about God. All the positive statements of God. He is alive, yeah. He is Qayyum, yes. He keeps the word up. But these are the speculative languages. So when you say Huwal Hayyul Qayyum, your concentration will be, here is the word. It's very simple. Here is the word, exists, and there are living beings on it. If the creator, the absolute being, was not high, he wouldn't be able to keep it. He wouldn't be able to give life to the newborn child. He must be the source of high. It means life, living. So, conclusion is, I don't know the nature of his being alive, but I am sure he is the absolute source of, say, life. How did you know? Never think of God. Just very simple. Unfortunately, this is not a fashion. Otherwise, it's very simple. Your concentration will be on the creation. He is Qayyum. He keeps it. I have never seen him keeping the universe or manipulating it, as it is described in certain manuscripts or certain pictures, taking the compass, calculating everything. Symbolic, we know that. No, I never think. Qayyum. If the creator of this universe was not Qayyum, its existence wouldn't be continuing. It's not any. Is there any break in it? Is there any slumber? Yeah. لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. Do you see that sometimes universe is not really working properly? Do you experience that? Sometimes it is really perfect in the morning, but towards the evening, something like that. No, the universe is really constantly perfect. The source of its existence must be Qayyum. I name it Qayyum, or the scripture names it Qayyum. I say, yeah, it must be. For example, وَلَا يَؤُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا وَلَا يَؤُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا. To keep the earth and the heavens and everything, the universe actually. The universe does not tire him off. How do I know? I don't know the nature of it, but definitely, if the source of existence of universe got tired, the universe wouldn't be that perfect in its existence. In its existence, perfect. In its existence, some people say the universe is not perfect. Sometimes, the storms happen or some things happen, but it is not really lovable, or we don't really like that. No. In its existence, it is perfect. So there is no sign of the source of its existence that getting tired. So you can look at every verse or every matter related to belief. If only one constant, never ever think of any matter from that perspective. Evidence, the universe. Look at the universe, and you can see, you can comfortably conclude about the source of existence. Okay. They cannot satisfy this appetite, the human beings cannot satisfy this appetite because both, they and those enjoying them exist only for a short time. Right? We are living here for a short time. Everything lives here for a short time. Another funny thing in the creation, if we do not consume something, use something, we don't really get the satisfaction of it. Look at the brownie here. It is nice, or what do you want? Eat. Yeah, to eat. It's very funny. This kind of creation is really wonderful and very funny. You love it, you enjoy it, but as you eat it, what happens? Disappears. Oh, what happened? I enjoyed it, I loved it, and I consumed it, it disappeared. How can I trust this thing itself? How can I say that this is the source of satisfaction? As you use it, it disappears. Now, this is a very interesting contradiction in the creation, so that every act of creation is a call for me to say that this is not the source of pleasure. This is just a sample. What you need, the permanent source. It's perfect. I would say, please don't mind my language. God is really very clever. The Creator must be very clever. He adjusted the creation in such a manner that everything teaches human nature. He created human being that matches human nature, so that the human beings will get the truth, reality. They will never be misled. Don't be carried away or misled by the popular language, popular religion saying Satan misleads you, something like this. These are the different subjects. But as far as the creation is concerned, nothing has any quality which will mislead human being from the truth. Nothing. Everything says you need an absolute one. You need an absolute one. Everything really draws our attention and refers it to the absolute creator. Everything. You don't respond, huh? That's ignore. She will play with your bag. Let her close it if you don't want something. Leave her alone. I love freedom. Sorry?
I'll ask you something after.
Yeah. I love freedom. I really love, because that was my failure, to bring up the children completely free, not dependent. Free. Whatever you want to. Prepare the ground. Let him know. I love it. But unfortunately, I couldn't do it because no one warned me. Like I'm doing now, straight, because the most essential thing is child training. Okay. They are offered so that the travelers, the conscious human beings, will reflect, give thanks for the samples, and yearn for the eternal originals. It's a beautiful description of human reality. MashaAllah. What? 138. Well, it is too late. I've got another one soon. So let's end here. And inshallah, step by step, slowly, believing in the resurrection, and all belief methods are difficult, really. But believing in the angels, believing in the resurrection. Sorry? Resurrect Hashr in Arabic, or other being recreated after dying, giving another form of existence according to the conditions of the new type of creation. Yeah, very simple. Thank you for asking. Very simple. For example, we are living in air and atmosphere. If we were fish, we would be given different tools, living in the water. Yeah, human spirit requires what? Everything not transient here. You eat and disappears. No, we want, I eat and the pleasure and the object of pleasure should not disappear. This is another type of creation I must be given. Because this desire is given to my other. Right? Ask every kind of question. Never hesitate. Challenge me. Really. Don't say that, as if I am sounding, as if I am not a believer. No. Every question comes to your mind. Ask.
The fact that you feel eternal, you believe eternity, doesn't make it any true. Doesn't make it more fact. It's just a feeling.
It's a feeling. So,
is it true?
So, okay, very good. But you should ask it at the beginning. Okay. Next Saturday, ask this. It is just a feeling, yeah? That is just a very short. I have a very limited time and I cannot spend more than 1 minute on it. Think about Adam. Where did you get this feeling?
When is it true?
No, where did you get this feeling?
Something inside me.
Inside you, where did you get this something inside you? Sorry? Where did you get this mind?
Yeah, I get what you're
So don't say I got. Where did you get it? Did you make it? No, it is given. What is the source of these given things that they exist? What can be the source of existence? No, existence of these things. Right? So go back. I think it's not the first time you are coming. I think you came before. This is the first time? The first time, Ada? As if I thought it's the second time. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm an old guy, I'm confused. Now, Adam, come to this discussion, ask the question, never keep in your, they say this, but no, I'm not satisfied with it. No, don't play a kindness game. No, be strict with me. Ask your own questions. Yeah, the answer is very simple. Don't worry, everybody can understand. The answer is very simple. Nothing is complicated. That is the time I can spend on it. Though I have another meeting and we have to pray before. So please come again. Is it a long way? Did you come? Not long. How long did it take me?
35 minutes in Brooklyn driving.
35 minutes? In Israel. It's next door neighbor. Yeah, isn't that true? In New York.
Driving makes it all better.
Yeah, mashallah. I'm very pleased with it. Adam, come. Do you live in the same area? You live in Brooklyn. You are coming from New Jersey.
For now, Brooklyn.
Sorry?
For now, Brooklyn. Some
For,
days New Jersey.
okay. I mean, from Brooklyn, it's nothing. Wake Adam up. As I get ready, I'm coming. Come Adam. And ask your serious questions, serious concerns. Never pretend to say that, no, this is a very American culture. And if I ask this question, people may feel hurt, may feel challenged. Kindness doesn't work in our class. Be harsh with me. And I'm harsh with everybody. If someone is playing with the baby or something, hey, what are you doing? You have no right to spoil the child. Huh? She has her own right. You cannot make her dependent on you. She is dependent on God, and you are the servant of Him, not the spoiler of her. Be careful. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Akhiru da'wahum and alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Hurmat surah